Hello everyone, welcome back to that sucks. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. The fire alarm or the fire siren horn just went off, so that's fun. Might leave that in. I usually don't leave in bloopers, but why not? Anyway, you guys are here for my week 1 power rankings, and I'm not really happy to make this because at number 32 I have my New York Giants. You lose 40-0, you're at number 2. Now let's do a couple disclaimers for these power rankings. These are not predictions. It's not based off of what we had expected in the offseason. This is based off of how I think these teams played last week. So, yeah, simply off of how I think they played last week. So, yeah, Giants with obviously the worst team. 31, I got the Bengals. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, not predictions because I think the Bengals will be a good team. They just lost 24-3 to the Browns. So obviously they're going to end up down here. 30 of the Steelers. They got dominated by a good team. But they still got dominated. I mean, that offense really wasn't going at all. I think the first half stat was 199 yards to 1. They didn't get a first down for like half of the game. It's kind of insane. Steelers not looking good. 29 got the Seahawks. They got beat by the Rams. I mean, it was a little bit closer than the score says, in my opinion, but they still got beat by the Rams. They got beat bad, 30-13, I believe. Not good for them. 28 got the Bears. They got dominated by the Packers. Once again, another score. The score was a little bit closer than it was for the Bears, so maybe you would say the Bears are lower than the Seahawks. But they stuck in the first half. They just kind of got destroyed during that third quarter type area. Yeah, 27. I got the Texans. They lose 25-9 to the Ravens. It is how it is. I mean, the Texans are obviously not a good team, we know that, and they lost to a good team. 26 got the Panthers. Yeah, I mean, they lost by 10 points. Oh no, 14 points to the Falcons, 24-10. Yeah, Bryce Young wasn't very good, and I don't think this team will be very good based off of week 1. Cardinals, most people's preseason 32, definitely would be my preseason 32 probably. They stuck in with the Commanders. Now, their offense was putrid, but their defense was good, and I think that they performed pretty well. 24, I got the Colts. You could argue for them to be a little bit higher here. The Colts really just, they stuck in towards the end, but Anthony Richardson had a costly interception, and the game was over pretty much after that. The Jaguars are just the better team. 23, got the Vikings. Yeah, they lose to the Bucks by 3. And passing wise, Kirk Cousins had 344 yards, yet he only threw for 1 touchdown. Justin Jefferson was Justin Jefferson, but he didn't get in the end zone, and they needed to get in the end zone. They didn't get into the end zone, and that's why they lost. 22 got the Broncos. The Broncos are, not the greatest team, as we know. They lose by 1 point to the Raiders. Pretty interesting. Yeah. Broncos ain't exactly amazing, and I can't believe they lost, to be honest. 21, I got the Bills. The Bills lose by 6 to the Jets, and it's honestly you lose to the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. Their offense was very good. Now their defense was fine, but it's also a Jets team without their starting quarterback. So maybe you could argue for the Bills lower, but they did lose in OT. It was a close game. And they did pretty much fight to the end, except for that punt return. Pats, I got a 20. I mean, it looked really bad at the beginning of the game, but they ended up coming back quite a bit, only losing by 5 points. Really not that bad for the Patriots, and Mac Jones had a good game, except for that pick 6. 19, got the Titans. The Titans lose by 1 to the Saints, 17-16. You really just have to score touchdowns. That's the problem. They kicked a lot of field goals. They didn't score really any touchdowns, and that's the reason why they lost. You gotta score touchdowns. I know it sounds crazy, Titans, but you gotta do that. I can't talk because the Giants put up this amount of points, so I'm gonna just stop, talking like that. 18, got the Commanders. Yeah, Commanders are the lowest team that won. I mean, it wasn't a very impressive win. yes, I guess is more impressive than most of these losses. But the Commanders weren't anything special last week. Their offense wasn't great. Obviously, the defense was good, but Josh Dobbs was starting quarterback for the Cardinals. You could argue them lower, but like I can't really put them much lower. 17 got the Chiefs. Weird to see the Chiefs down here. Um, if they bounce back, they'll probably be going up. But you know how I like to do this. I like to do this based off of what we've seen. No preseason expectations. I don't care if they're the Super Bowl favorite going into week one. They lost the Lions in a close game, but they still lost the Lions. And they were pretty solid, but, you know, that pick six was big. They lost. 16 got the Raiders, who won. 17-16 against the Broncos. Good win for the Raiders. I mean, like, nothing special, but still a win. That's more impressive than most of these losses. So, yeah. 15 got the Saints. Yeah, they win by one, but their defense was really good, not allowing the Falcons Titans to really score. Keeping them out of the end zone. Good defensive performance. Now we could expect more from the offense. Michael Thomas had a pretty good game in his day back, and I think Derek Carr will step it up. 14 got the Bucks. They beat the Vikings by 3. That defense was really, really good when it mattered. I mean, they were able to, they might have allowed yards, but at the end of the day, it didn't cost them as much. 13 got the Chargers. This is the highest team with the loss. The Chargers really kept in the game against the Dolphins, and I think that because of that, they deserve to be pretty highly ranked, even with a loss. Because it was a close game. Their offense was spectacular. Austin Eckler had a huge run. Joshua Kelly, the backup running back, was good because I believe Eckler got hurt during the game. But yeah, 12 got the Jags. The Jags beat the Colts as expected. And, it was a pretty solid win. The connection between Lawrence and Ridley was amazing during the first half. Didn't do as much during the second half, but Lawrence really likes his receiver core. I mean, he throws the ball to Zay Jones a lot. So that's cool. Yeah, and Ridley looks like a big threat. So Jaguars are looking pretty good. 11 got the Lions, who beat the defending Super Bowl champs. Only by 1 point, but a really good defensive performance. I don't care who the receivers are. It's Patrick Mahomes. So the fact that you allow them to 20 points is really impressive. Good for the Lions. 10 got the Rams. They win in pretty convincing fashion against the Seahawks. 30-13. Matthew Stafford's throwing to nobodies, but that still works out for them. 9 got the Eagles. Were really good in the first half. The Patriots just kept punting, but at a certain point, the offense just stopped being alive, which wasn't very good for them. So, yeah, the offense pretty much stopped scoring for a good amount of the game, and they also got a pick six. So the offense wasn't great, but the defense was pretty good. Passing wise, Mac Jones did pretty well, but they held the run pretty good. 8 got the Jets. The Jets defensively are really great. And if they had Rodgers, it'd probably be higher because they'd probably win in more convincing fashion, but who knows. The Jets, obviously, great win. 7 got the Falcons. The Falcons are they're looking pretty good this year. The run game looks elite, and they beat the Panthers pretty well by 2 scores. 6, I got the Ravens. Lamar was a little bit disappointing, but the defense looked really well, even against not a great Texans team. Still only allowed them to 9 points. 5 got the Dolphins. Great offensive performance. Tua's looking great, and it's really good for the offense. Now the defense may have to step it up, but at least they got one facet of the game working, even though they only win 36-34. 4 got the Browns, winning 24-3 against the Bengals. Very impressive win. The defense was really good. Nick Chubb was steady. Deshaun Watson was solid. He had a pick, but that was about it. Good win for the Browns. Really good win for the Browns. 3 got the Packers. They dominate the Bears on all facets of the game, no matter the quarterback, as I mentioned. And the takeaways, the Packers are looking good this year. 2, I got the 49ers, who are my Super Bowl favorites right now. But based off of week 1, I can't put them number 1 because I got to put the Cowboys there. They just won 40-0, although the 49ers did handle their business. Those are my week 1 power rankings. Remember, this is based off of nothing like, this is based off like purely what happened in week 1. There's no, oh, I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, so instead of putting them at 17, I'm going to put them in the top 8 even though they have a loss. That's not how I like to do it. I like to do it based off of this season alone because this is our week 1 power rankings. So that's why, like, if I did do a preseason power ranking, it would be related to this. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.